I'm so excited to see you here today. This is your June 2020 energy reading. This reading is for spiritual entrepreneurs. So this covers career, this covers business, this covers life. It is all the things. So whatever intention you came here with, make sure to hold that tight as you look at the decks that we're going to have today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping notes. I want to thank all the new subscribers who have subscribed to the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. And in case you're like, why should I? Well, my name's Archield. I'm an intuitive business coach, and I love helping spiritual entrepreneurs make a deeper impact and higher profit without all the damn hustle. That's just what I do every day. Just like one of my clients, her name's Jenny, and within 6 weeks of working together, we had her booking over $200,000 worth of business. So if you want those kinds of results, you can look down in the description below and check out ways that we can work together. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into this reading. All right, so you can see here that we have 4 decks. Deck number 1, deck number 2, deck number 3, and deck number 4. Again, deck number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you need to, take a moment. I have some stones here so that you and I know that we're talking about the same deck when we get there. But take a look. You don't necessarily need to pick based on stones or even based on number. I want you really to pick intuitively while you're holding the intention on the question that you really need answered. The thing that's really coming up for you right now. So if you need to, pause the video, and there's going to be timestamps just below the video in the description and in the first comment so that you can jump right to your deck. All right, deck choosers number 1. This is your energy reading for June 2020. We're going to start off with a mantra, which I think is a perfect way, something to really encapsulate the month for us. So let's go ahead and put this over here. Let's see what your mantra is. Ooh, this is really nice. Obsessing over the outcome of a relationship gets in the way instead. Let go and allow. Now, did you ask about something personal, something business, something career? This can apply to all of them. Obsessing over the outcome of a relationship gets in the way. Instead, I let go and allow. Great mantra here for the month. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that over here. And you can keep an eye on it. I have one other card I feel like we should pull. And that's an archetype card that I'm pulling for deck choosers number 1. So this is going to be an archetype that will really help you as you move through the month. Something to kind of keep like a guardian angel over you like this. Something helping you out to make decisions, looking at maybe even some of your own shadows. That may come up as well. So a lot that can happen here. All right, so let's see what we've got here for deck choosers number 1. We've got 2. I wonder if this is going to be another double time. I had that happen a lot. I think it was the last one. Okay, so we got 2. We've got the Prince and we've got Trickster. So the Prince. Light attribute, romantic, charm, and potential for power. Shadow attribute, using power for self-aggrandizement. All right, and the Trickster, transcending conviction, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Shadow attribute, manipulating others through duplicity. Ooh, so we've got a lot going on here, potentially for you this month. Let's go ahead and put these up top. Let's see what our other cards are going to say to us. Just so you know, deck choosers number 1, I have a slew of decks over here to my right, and I'll pick from different decks based on the vibe I'm getting at the time. and I'll share those cards with you for your reading. So I'm going to go here first. And we're going to pick our next card or 2 or 4 or 5. I don't know what's going to happen. Deck choosers number 1, but you've got some interesting cards so far. There's something about this month in June that really feels like maybe people start to feel like things are coming back into some kind of balance. I'm not going to say back to normal, because I don't know when normal is going to be, and I really believe truly that we're in a point of having a new normal anyway. And it feels like June is a month where we're really rebuilding foundations. Okay? So that's what it's feeling like to me. June is more building the foundations to really thrive during this new normal. Okay, so let's see what we've got for you. And choosers number 1. All right, we've got 3 cards here. We've got the Tree of Life, Fertility, Creativity, Destiny, Magical Blessings. I always like that. That's card number 1 for those of you into numerology. A Hidden Gift, Sadness, and Ending a New Beginning. That is for you in numerology. 9. Then our last one is 27, which is Enchanted Forest, Mystery, Magic, and Excitement. So there's a lot here, it looks like, under this idea of magic, of really remaking things. And then I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about this overall mantra about obsessing over a relationship. So what I'm really getting right now is, and this is going to be for some of you, obviously not all of you, as this is a general reading, but that relationship, you might think, oh, this is my significant other, this is with a parent or a friend. For those of you who have a business and you know you had a business question, this is about your business. I've been talking about the last couple of months, really being sure that you're doing what you're called to do, not what just makes you money. There's a certain magic about that. But if you're just here to make money and only to make money, right? Because there's all sorts of other ways to abundance. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. But you can get in this kind of this prince thing, the shadow attribute of the prince about self-aggrandizement and manipulating others through duplicity and being obsessed with the business and letting, instead of it being kind of free flow, your business should be fun. It's not like even fun things, there's some kind of tedious things that you do when you have fun, right? Like sometimes if you like to go whitewater rafting, maybe hauling your raft up, putting it on top of the car, whatever it is you have to do sucks, right? There's always that part that kind of sucks. So even in a business that you love, there's going to be those bits that just suck, right? You can let someone else do it, right? You can hire others, which would be a nice thing to do to spread the wealth, right? You can get other people to do it, or you can continue to do it for yourself for a while. So I'm not saying that it's all unicorns and roses and cotton candy. There's work involved. But when you're doing that for overall, right, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, etc., it should be fun. It should fill you back up, right? There's nothing like when you're doing your work, no matter what your work is, that it fills you back up, that you're overjoyed doing it, that you know this is your reason for being, that you feel that excitement, that tingle. I have that when I get off of coaching calls with clients. It's just like, oh, it's so exciting. And I'm so happy. I'm just absolutely fulfilled instead of drained, right? So that's really important, and kind of use that as a metric, if you will. All right, so we've got the Tree of Life. Like it's saying, this should bring you life. This should bring you lots of blessings into your life. All right, it should be exciting. And if, like here in Hidden Gift, it's a sadness and ending a new beginning. If there's something within your business that is not bringing you joy, and like I said, and it's like an overwhelming part, there's a gem in there. There's a lesson in there for you to learn where you can cut that down. But if you're in a business that overall, you know it's not your calling, this is your opportunity to make that change and build a new foundation. This is really important, deck choosers number 1. All right. I'm feeling the need for some tarot cards here. Deck choosers number 1. I want to get more about this hidden gift. I feel pretty good about everything else going on so far in this reading. But this hidden gift piece, I want to make sure is super clear. So I'm going to get some clarity there. And we're going to see where else we need to go. It's one of the reasons I love these readings. Because we go everywhere. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, so we've got the Star reversed. We've got the Ten of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Four of Cups reversed. So we've got 3 reversed, the one in the center, the Ten of Wands. I want to start there. Yeah, this is what I would call a type of Phoenix moment, burning off stuff that you simply don't need. Sometimes our foundations can get a little wonky, or what I call, oh, what a beautiful word, waterlogged, right? And then it starts to rot from within, right? It needs to be dried out. We need to burn the things off that aren't needed. So even if you have a business that is going really well right now, make sure that those things have been attended to. Let's look at what's surrounding this, because that's what's really going to help you push out and push forward. All right, we've got the Star reversed, along with the Six of Wands and the Four of Cups. Again, there's a lot of energy, a lot of passion here that finally gets turned right side up with the Ten of Wands there in the center. The Star, which, you know, is typically associated with Aquarius in astrology. So if you're Aquarius or have Aquarius somewhere around you, I'm actually seeing it as a block at this moment. So if there's someone around you that's Aquarius, if your divine client archetype is Aquarius, we definitely need to talk. So hit me up in the comments if that is you. But there's someone around you that is Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Be kind of aware of what they're trying to teach you, right? I always think blocks are there to teach you something. So what are they trying to teach you so you can move on to the next step, right? So you can move on to the next level. So you can get the foundation that your business needs emotionally for you and for the business itself. And so you can move on with all the energy and rigor that you need. So that's really cool. Where are my unicorns? Here they are. Okay. Right now we needed some unicorn energy in here. Deck choosers number 1. So it looks like I'm really reading this as a relationship with your business. That's really what I'm seeing right now. So, and making sure that you're on the right track. Don't delude yourself. Oh my gosh. Sometimes we get what I call false starts, right? We'll get information. We'll think, oh, this is the new direction I need to go in. I'm the master at doing that. So I come from experience here. And so you move off in that direction and you get off the original course. If you need to, put a big old sticky note up where you see it every day about your big why, your big end goal, your big calling, the thing that encompasses all of it, so that you can tell if you're starting to move off course, if you're starting to veer off course from the original calling, right? Used to call this, when I worked in higher ed, mission creep. And I did work for a couple of different universities, and one of them had some really major mission creep going on. I think I have a video on mission creep in general, and so I'll go ahead and I'll link it up there, and I'll put it down in the description as well. So you might want to check out to make sure you're not falling victim. That could very well be it. You're falling victim to mission creep. All right, let's see what we have here. Oops. All right, so we've got worth waiting for and listening to your true feelings. Your patience will be rewarded. And I do feel like, especially if you were hard hit in March and April, you're just like, what happened? Right? And I know I've talked to a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs that are like, what the heck happened? Like, they can feel the change coming. They can feel the wave coming, but business start to feel a little wonky. I hope that in May you start seeing that turnaround, and now we're building in the rest of the foundations in in June. So, patience will be rewarded. It's coming. Things are turning back around to where you're going to see exactly how you're going to be moving forward. But to do that, of course, you've got to listen to your true feelings. Don't let others talk you into doing something that you know is wrong. Like, even when I'm coaching my clients, of course, I'm using my intuition. I'm using everything at my disposal to help them be as successful as possible. Without all the hustle, without all the hard, crazy work, right? The busy to be busy, right? That goes on in the industry. But every now and then, I'll find myself saying something. I'm like, that is not what I'd want to say, but I'm saying it anyway. And it might be that hard truth that they needed to wake up and move forward. And other times when I'm saying something that kind of goes against what I would normally say, it's to invoke a reaction. Right? So sometimes options are presented to us and advice is given to us from the most well-meaning people possible to evoke a reaction. So at a deep, visceral level, you know, I'm not doing that. That is not what I'm going to do. Right? And that's important. It's saying, be aware of your intuition. Understand where that gut feeling comes from so you can tap into it more often. It's the same feeling you get when maybe you're flipping a coin to decide if I'm eating at place A or place B or cooking A or B or whatever. And it flips and it's heads and you really want it tails. It was that contrast to let you know what you really wanted. Right? Especially if you have an immediate, deep, visceral reaction. Listen to your true feelings. And sometimes they only come up by way of contrast. All right. Oh yeah, this feels good. Let's look over here. Deck choosers number 1. See what else we've got for you guys. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I think it needs a quick shuffle. And we'll start with the wrap up, I think. Yeah. Let's see. If you're liking this reading so far, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. That way other people get to see it and it does better in the algorithm. All right. Deck choosers number 1. Let's see what else we got here for you guys. All right. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so here we go. A few more to round this out. I don't know if we're going to need clarification on anything. If so, we've got more decks to choose from. But we're starting out here, and I don't know why I wanted to put it over there, but I did. All right, so we're starting out here with the Chariot. So that tells me there's probably a decision coming up. Which doesn't surprise me, as we talked about the hidden gem, as we talked about burning away the things that are kind of waterlogging your foundation. There could very well, and of course you're going to listen to your feelings on this, a decision about which way to go. Maybe it could be as big as, wow, there's these 2 things I'm really doing for my business, and I need to pick one way to articulate my calling. It could be as minor as, I'm on like 6 different social media channels. It is incredible busyness. It is too much hustle. I'm only going to focus on 2 or on the 1. And I'm going to like be a badass on that one, right? So that's what I'm saying, that choice. And it comes from a place where it's going to provide the greatest nurturing to you, right? And the greater nurturing to those that you serve. Right? That's that Cancer energy coming here with the Chariot. All right, we've got the 4 of Wands. We've got so much passion and fire in this reading with all of our wands. We've got the 4 of Wands here. We've got the Queen of Wands reversed. So again, more wand energy in the center section. Again, going to making sure that foundation is stabilized with the 4 of Wands, and then bringing it up here with the Queen of Wands. It's interesting to see her reversed here, which I'm really feeling like don't overdo it. All right. Remember I said you don't want to hustle for hustle's sake. You don't want to just be busy, busy, busy to be busy. And so there's this desire to make massive change fast, where it needs to be a little slower, a little over time, a bit more incremental. And trust me, I like going from A to Z. I like that boom and just being done. This is a process of growth. So it's asking you to tamper down that passion just a smidge so that you can grow at a pace that is sustainable for you, and where you can create a container in that space that is larger and larger to help those that you're called to serve. All right, so that's where you're building the foundation, but you're holding it back just a little so things don't get out of hand. All right, so then we come over here to this beautiful Libra energy with Justice reversed. And you can see here she's got her sword of truth. She's trying to weigh out what's wrong and not wrong. And it's not going to necessarily come to that. You're going to be able to have discernment, right, by trusting your intuition more than trusting your logical mind. All right, so this, I'm really reading it now. It's really about that discernment. And what are you going to trust? Because sometimes you're going to see stats, you're going to see analytics, you're going to see what people say is the best use or best case in industry. All those kinds of things are going to be brought to you and said, do it this way. Do it this way. Your intuition's going to tell you the way for you to do it. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't go get help from others. It might be the way where it's the advice that you're soliciting from people. Maybe you decide to go with someone's advice that's a bit more contrarian, right? Or your gut feeling might tell you something else, even though maybe that person is quote unquote wildly successful from what you can see on the outside. So I really encourage you to lean into your intuition, not so much into your logic. Libra means so many other things, but that is like the vibe I'm getting from Libra right now. All right, deck choosers, number 1, this has been your energy reading for June 2020. Again, if you liked it, please go ahead, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. All right, we're going to move on to deck number 2. All right, deck choosers number 2, I'm excited that you're here for your business energy reading for June 2020. All right, so let's see what we've got here. First, the mantra. I surrender my desires, and I know the universe has my back. Love it. I surrender my desires, and I know the universe has my back. That is a lovely way to start out deck choosers number 2. I'm excited. If you want to share what your question was before we get started, pause the video, write it down in the comments. I would love to know. All right. So what are we starting with first? I'm feeling the fairies. So let me grab those. Then we're going to pull an archetype cards. I don't know. I'm all about the fairies right now for you, deck choosers number 2. Now we're going to get some archetype cards or card. All right. Let's see what we got here for you guys. What do you got here for deck choosers number 2? Peace of mind and honoring your true feelings. Peace of mind and honoring your true feelings. All right. So if you're surrendering your desires to the universe, right? And because you know the universe has your back. Yeah, that's going to give you plenty of peace of mind, and you're going to be honoring your true feelings. So your true feelings are your desires, right? So, you know, as cliche as it is, get crystal clear on what it is that you want. Whatever area that you are focusing in when you picked this deck, get clear. This is looking really good for you guys. I like that to just start with, right? So this is deck choosers number 2. The June 2020 energy reading. All right, let's see what kind of archetype we're working with. There's something about that one fairy under peace of mind that is just, I'm getting obsessed with. So I have a feeling I'm going to have a little bit more to say about that one. Okay, let's see what we got here for archetype. Okay, I like this one. We have the Destroyer. Light attributes, releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for new life. Right? All going together. The shadow attributes, intoxication with destructive power, destroying other streams or potential. So that's what we have sitting here. There is something, I don't know if you've ever watched something burn up or fall apart. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? But have you ever just do something obviously in a controlled environment? Whether it's watching a piece of paper burn, if you use incense, watching that incense stick burn. Obviously burning's on my mind here, so we're going to keep with that. But literally sit and watch something burn. Literally sit and watch it get destroyed and see what emerges from that. There is energy that emerges out of there, and it's almost it's visible in a different way. You can feel it. You can feel the energy being released. You can see what it does as it goes to ash and what becomes of that ash. So there's very something beautiful in that destructive quality. And when you go out into nature, that destructive quality, those things being burned and then going back to the ground, often nourish the soil so something else can blossom. So this is a call that's to have that peace of mind that comes from knowing something's been completely destroyed. And from there, your desires get to emerge. Okay? So what I'm going to encourage you to do, when I was saying earlier, get crystal clear on your desires, is to push past the surface level. Right? So many of us get stuck on surface level things. I want you to push past the surface level and go deeper. Deeper where after this destruction, where the ash has been buried, as it's been used to nourish the soil. Go deep to see what is there, what the true desire is, what your true feelings are. You know, there's this, I don't think I have a video on it. If I do, I'll link it above. But there's this idea of asking why 5 times to really get down to the truth of what's going on for you. So, you know, it's like, I like the color blue. Why? And then you say, why you like the color blue? Well, then why did you say that answer? And so on. So you go down to 5 levels deep. And then you're actually getting to some truth. All right? So keep that in mind. And archetypes. Let's go to there next. What do we have here as a guide here? As a guidance, mentorship for deck choosers number 2, June 2020. What do I have for you guys? All right, as some guidance as you move through June, as you surrender those desires, so you can see them actually blossom and have the peace of mind to know what's happening. I swear I have this whole series on manifestation. So please go check that out. I think that's going to be really helpful for you because manifestation is a lot about surrendering desires. And sometimes I think we don't quite know how to surrender, right? All right, so let's see what we've got here. It's funny, I've been complaining about always doing 2, and now I'm purposely doing 2 for you guys. All right, we've got Avenger, and we've got Rebel. All right, so our light attributes for Avenger is desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. The shadow attribute is resorting to violence in the name of a cause. So there's a lot going on there right now, all around the world. And we've got the Rebel, a Rebel and an Avenger. I think I want to get to know you better. All right, so we've got the Rebel also helping you out here. Challenges authority to affect social change. Rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. The shadow attributes. Rejects legitimate authority out of anger. Rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Right, so, you know, you want honoring your true feelings. Right, so you're not doing anything that is rash. And what would be rash is resorting to the shadow side of either the Avenger or the Rebel. But there is a bit of destroying going on here. Knocking down of systems, which is, I think, pretty exciting to see because I'm all about shifting the social-economic paradigm. And that is a bit of a rebellious act. It's going to take an Avenger for sure. So, if that interests you, gosh, we definitely need to talk. Because I know to shift that socioeconomic paradigm is going to take a shift in how we make money, what we do with money, etc. throughout the world, and how we spend money, how to not hoard money, how to be good with enough and with excess, right? There's all sorts of yumminess in there. I don't think it's time for me to go off on a tangent, but as I will go off on that tangent if I need to. All right, so what do we got here? Ooh. We've got the goddess of creation. So we have destruction, and then we have creation. Transformation, creativity, and wholeness. It's card number 7 for those of you into numerology. And we have thinking of you, card number 29. A loving thought, serendipity. Oh, it's like deck choosers number 2. Your reading is so yummy. I don't know any other way to say it other than what a yummalicious reading. You surrendered desires, right? You're manifesting something big, not just for you, but for everyone. And it takes destroying certain things, certain beliefs that have been held that really aren't serving, like the inner world of anyone. In some cases, not even the outer world of people. And then you get to create. And you get to be involved with this movement of creation, of transformation, of creativity. Like, you really get to be, in a way, on the forefront of this ushering in the age of Aquarius. It's really exciting. So, and it's like the universe smiling back down on you, always thinking of you, always there supporting you. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous reading. I am loving it. So let's move over, bring this in with a bit of tarot right now. Let's see what we've got. This is beautiful. It's like you can, now I know why that fairy was really getting to me earlier, guys. Hold on. I want you to look at this. Look how she's looking back over her shoulder, like, bye, right? It's like, so long, farewell. It's not like turning back and yearning. It's turning back and being glad that you get to move forward, right? It's been carefully weaved, carefully constructed, right? That's what happens in that act of creation. All right. Deck choosers number 2. What else do you have that you're going to just surprise and delight with? Ooh. You never fail to delight. Let's see what we've got here. We've got the Hierophant over here. This is really a lot about abundance. Material and spiritual abundance. More material if it had been the Emperor, but this is really about spiritual abundance. But it can be both. But when you're creating that new thing, when you're ushering in that new era, when you're surrendering those desires, ooh, it's going to be beautiful. And of course, if you're Taurus or Sun, Moon, or Rising, or have someone around you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, they're going to be helpful in this. It's nice because Taurus likes to work. They like to see it through and just get it done, right? And as they're getting it done, they enjoy it. And what they enjoy just as much is chilling and luxury afterwards. I love Taurus. Okay, so we got the Two of Wands, the Princess of Swords reversed, and the Three of Wands. So we have a lot going on here toward the middle. With, let's see, the Two of Wands. Yeah, we got a lot of push, a lot of energy. This group, this venture, this transformation change that you're associating with isn't just about looks. It isn't just about signaling things. It's about actually doing. All right. Sometimes things look so beautiful on the outside, and on the inside, like there's nothing going on. It's vacant. So that's not what's going on here. This is actually something that's happening. This is an actual movement, not just like talk. It's not just talk. All right. So the Three of Wands reversed, the Princess of Swords reversed. Let me take a look at those two. So we've got a lot going on here where, yeah, this isn't, one of these said this isn't about overthrowing something through violence. And we've got our Three of Wands reversed here, meaning that it is a peaceful thing. It's still assertive. A non-violent movement doesn't mean non-assertive, right? That's the main thing I want to say. Non-violent movement doesn't mean non-assertive. There is assertion, but this is going to be done differently. So I think that's the other reason this came up with Everyone looks nice and like sweetness, but there is grit underneath that sweetness that's going to hold the line, right? Not like pushing to make something happen, but actually hold the line. Like not one step further. Not one step further, sir. And it's nice and it's assertive, but it is not violent. All right. Princess of Wands, winter. It's so funny. Right now it's like, winter is coming. And I never watched the Game of Thrones. But, you know, pop culture, you see it everywhere. But this is almost like, there's no stopping, right? The movement, this movement that you decide to be part of. Winter does not come, right? It keeps moving forward. Doesn't mean there won't be setbacks, because that can happen with anything, but it's not something that's going to stop. It's not something that's going to end. All right, we're over here with the Lovers reversed, and of course this is Gemini energy. There's something else I want to say in here. Okay. About communication, right? So it's alternative kinds of communication. So much communication now and organizing takes now over the internet, over email, etc. And that is now, I think, the norm, the standard. And I wonder what this is going to be, because it's going to be different. So I'm actually very curious. If you had some ideas, please let me know down in the comments, because I'm very, very curious on what this new style of communication is going to be. I'm actually curious about the movement that you're looking at, creating or joining, combining even, because this time in June is the moment to get the foundations for this. So knitting it all together to move forward. It's gonna be amazing. All right, so let's get a little bit more in here. Yeah, I like my unicorns. So this is for deck choosers number 2. We're gonna get a little bit of unicorn energy in here. Okay. Let's see what we got. See if we can complete out this story. It feels really happy, really light. Even the destruction feels amazing. The destruction feels amazing, guys. All right. Nice. Water and simplicity. So water says, drink more water, eat foods with water in them, such as fresh fruits and vegetables. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if you're going to do like a co-op of some sort? This reminds me of what a good friend of mine, she really wants to start a cooperative. I'm all about like eco-friendly housing, building from the earth, etc. And so having that kind of communal space of growing your own foods and being sustainable off-grid, yeah, I'm that girl. So, simplicity. Put your energy into the basics and let go of excess, right? So going back to basics, that's what's going to get this moving. And I bet there's something very beautiful and basic that's going to happen with this communication. I am totally stoked to find out what you're doing, deck choosers number 2, because it's something pretty incredible. All right, and with that, if you have loved this reading, please give it a thumbs up so more people see it in the YouTube algorithm. And oh my goodness, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do so. Subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. And with all of that, we're going to move on to deck number 3. All right, deck choosers number 3. This is your energy reading for June 2020. And let's see what we have to play with. Let me go ahead and put this over on this other side. All right, your mantra. I love my food and my food loves me. I love my food loves me. Guys, I love that. I don't know what you were thinking, but I'm curious to know below in the comments what your focus was when you picked this deck. But even just seeing that, I'm lit up because, gosh, what is that guy's name? Dr. something with an M. I'm sure I'll have to put it up in post-production here. And part of the experience he did with water and talking to water and how and when it crystallizes, it would be different kind of crystalline forms depending on if you spoke nicely to it or not. And some of the work that was done when you're looking at atoms being split and how they would array versus not paying attention how they would array. All sorts of things, right? Well, one of the things that gets discussed in this work is, I'll try to find the name of the book and put it in here, or put it down in the description, is prayer. Praying over your food. And I think it was, I want to say it was military or CIA. Like, I don't remember. This guy, I don't know, got bored one day and put a lie detector thing on a plant and thought to himself, I'm not going to water that plant. And the plant was under distress. And then he started doing it on different things when he's in the room, out of the room, out loud, silently. And to the point of just showing our interconnectedness, right? Where he was going to set fire or literally like boil an egg. And he had another egg hooked up to the equipment, but in like a lead container. So in theory, nothing got through, right? And that egg, as soon as the guy had the idea and put on the water to boil the other egg, went into distress. Is that not wild? And he found out that if you prayed over the food before cooking, before eating, well, not for eating, well, if you're going to just eat something immediately, I guess like an apple, that the food would not show signs of stress. Right? That you have shown that you're grateful for that food. I love my food loves me. Right? So how can you show that much care and affection for your food, obviously, but for all other things that you're in contact with and using? So I thought that was a great way to start out. So let's get on with the rest of your reading. You're like, whoa. But yeah, I'll try to find the name of that book and put it in the description. Because I just can't remember it. I want to say it's all based off of that. Well, maybe they just reference a doctor who did the stuff with water, but I will find out and get that in there for you. All right, so let's look at some archetype cards to help you out through this month, through June 2020, for deck number 3. What do you need to know? Gratitude, guys, is going to be so big for you guys this month. Right? Keeping that gratitude journal, being grateful for every little thing. It's going to be huge for you this month. Alchemist. I think there's just the one we need to deal with right now. Alchemist. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Shadow attribute. Misuse of power and knowledge that comes through spiritual practice. Yeah, I think some gratitude definitely needed here. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. I'm excited to see what's turning for you guys. All right, so let's grab this deck. By the way, guys, in case you don't know, I built the decks as we move forward. I have several decks that I choose from. I kind of don't know which one I'm going to use till I pick it up to use it. think for these readings for June, I've always used a attribute, the archetypes card for each one, and obviously the mantra. But the rest, I don't know until it's time. Alright, so this is for deck choosers number 3, June energy reading, June 2020 energy reading. What else do we need to know for these guys? Oh, it's beautiful. Love and expectancy. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I am very hip to your reading so far. Love and expectancy. That is a nice little combination. Along with transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom, there's just a lot of alchemy. Lack of a better word. There's a lot of alchemy going on here. A lot of transformation. The expectancy, I think, is really good. I think sometimes we forget how to be expectant, the excitement of expectancy, rather than, I think sometimes when we have to wait for things, we get anxious instead of excited, right? And so we don't want the anxiety, we want expectancy, the excitement that comes when this transformation happens. And this transformation happening at this point through love. This is a really, really interesting reading so far. I'm excited to see what else comes up for you, deck choosers number 3. Yeah, let's pull these. There's a lot of love in this. I am getting blown away, because for me, the main thing I saw for June was a lot of foundation building. It's like things have finally started to get somewhat stable. Not going back to normal, because there's no going back, right? We move forward. And so it's building up and shoring up of foundations, like this major overriding thing that I was seeing for June. So I'm interested to see what all this gratitude and love, here's some really high vibes, folks, and that's in your reading and showing up over and over again, that expectancy that happens with it, the alchemical process, what that actually is going to sort out at. I think I need to keep these out. Okay, liberation. For those of you in numerology, that's card number 25. And Moonlight Goddess is card 2. Liberation, breaking free from a negative attachment. Nice. Moonlight Goddess, repressed emotions, healing, and reflection. All right, so we've got this expectancy going on. We've got love. We know we're doing something alchemical. So first we got to liberate. It's almost as if, for my little science nerds, it's almost as if love is the catalyst, right? Love is the catalyst that needs to be added to make the reaction. So my little science nerds, you know what I'm talking about. So that's for part of you guys. So this to me is really beautiful. There's just, it's this idea of healing, the love, the gratitude. It's very, very, like I said, peaceful. The excitement of expectancy rather than the anxiety. It's like, I just felt like there's a couple more cards that come out. Here we go. All right, so we've got 16, which is Winter's End, and 13, which is Reflection. Gosh, there's a lot of that going on here. All right, Winter's End, regeneration, rebirth, positive outcome, reflection, illusion, self-examination, and distortion. So it's like sorting out what is truth. What is truth? right? And look, the winner's in expecting that positive outcome. So that's all coming together. But you want to make sure, sometimes, gosh, I didn't know that this was all coming. So sometimes when you have a chemical reaction, the reaction results in several different things, right, out the other side. And so sometimes it's totally what you wanted. Sometimes it's the thing you want plus some byproducts, maybe some of which you don't want. So to me, that reflection is, as you're playing with these energies, these alchemical energies, or the byproducts, are they causing you to be distorted? Or is it just the focus, the sole focus on that one main thing you want? You're not realizing the kind of byproducts you're producing. So be aware of that and what we're going to do with those byproducts. I don't know. No, not that deck. This deck. Okay, deck choosers number 3. I want to get a little bit more clarity on that, on those byproducts that are coming out of this whole thing. Okay, let's determine to stay on top. So, Knight of Wands. Okay, we've got the Knight of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Six of Cups. Yeah, so it's, the distortion could be okay. There's something about the distortion here, so give me a second to take a look at what's going on. Yeah, it's almost as if like you found a process and it is so friggin' awesome. Right? And it's through this reflection, it's through this process that is energetic, and you want to share it with everyone. Right? And I really feel like you should. I see that with the Knight of Wands. I see that with the Six of Cups. This is something that you want to like scream out to the whole world. I figured this out! Right? And you want to share it. You want to show other people how to do it. The byproduct, in this case, is some people not being as excited as you are. Right? Some people not seeing the good that you see and what you've done, or not wanting to believe it, wanting to hang on to things that are old. And there's a turning away. There's a mutual turning away. And it's all right. I want to back that up right now with it's all right if there's a mutual turning away, because not everyone is ready for this next step that you have found. They might be ready later, right? We're all on our own journey. But those people who are your people, who've been waiting for you to come screaming forward with this thing, they're ready. They see it as a gift. They are freaking excited. They're like, finally, right? Talk to those people. Don't be worried about the ones who are turning away. Not your problem. Not your problem. This is where you're starting to shore up your foundations, because you're getting sharper focus in on who you serve and how you serve. Don't worry about the people who aren't hip to it. They'll be hip to someone else, and that person will be the exact right person to help them. You go be the exact right person for the people that you're called to help. All right? Let's grab, I feel like there's like one more deck that we need at the very least. I'm going to go ahead. Mine unicorns for deck choosers number 3 and see what else we've got for you guys. Let's see what else we got for you. I feel like things are pretty clear. You know, you're working with some high vibration stuff, right? The highest, love, gratitude, that's some of the highest vibration stuff you can work with. And whatever process or methodology you're coming up with, I'm surprised I didn't see any Sagittarius show up. whatever process or methodology you're coming up with, it's going to be amazing. Just remember that byproduct. Some people ain't going to like it, and that's okay. I'm about to go ahead and pull out of this the unicorns, but go ahead, if you are loving this reading, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That helps it go higher in the YouTube algorithm. Other people have a chance to come and do this book of deck reading because they'll see it. All right, so let's see, deck choosers number 3, one other thing, maybe 2, I think. Yeah. 2 other things. We've got practice. The best way to be good at a skill is to practice, practice, practice until you got it right. And with this new methodology that you're going to be sharing and teaching, you definitely want to do that. So you have it absolutely dialed in. It's going to be like this, I was saying June is about foundation. It's going to be a foundational part of what you do. Change. The changes that you're going through are positive. They are. They're very much positive. I'd be interested to know, just seeing food, I'm wondering, like, are you like in the nutritional field? Let me know in the comments below. But this change, and I'm also seeing this as this. It's because you're really honing in on who you serve and how you serve them. And that change is really going to do you good. All right. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. And that is what I have for you, deck choosers number 3. And we're going to move on to deck number 4. Hello, deck choosers number 4. This is your energy reading for June 2020. And we are going to get hopping. I'm going to scoochie this over here with your mantra. Yay! I love this. Happiness is a choice I make. I'm a big believer in this. Happiness is a choice I make. I think everyone's gotten a little story today, and I think you're about to get one. Deck choosers number 4. Happiness was definitely a choice that I made. I went through, very long story short, I went through over a decade of deep depression after my first child passed, when she was 6 weeks old. I was very angry with God, and very, very unhappy. It was a very hard thing to rectify. What got me out of that and really moving forward, because I thought I would never be happy again. I mean, at that point, I even had another child, and it was hard to shake. I finally realized in all of it, happiness is a choice. And it's not that depression, and I think if you've had depression before, whether it was brought on by traumatic events or not, that it doesn't necessarily come and then go away and you never have it again, right? You go through episodes. So every time when those episodes would come up, I could spin out for quite some time. And it was coming back to happiness as a choice. Now, I'm not saying some people that is not going to work with, so I'm definitely not a psychiatrist. But I am telling you my own experience. And keeping that at the forefront, happiness is a choice. Sometimes it was hard to remember what the hell happiness was, right? And so I had to start doing different things to help myself remember, having different things in place when I was kind of more in my happy state, so that it was there for when I was not. And those things I found were really important. And also building up a resiliency, right? So whereas I could spin out for a couple of years, then it was a couple of months, then a couple of weeks, and I eventually got down to, I could spin out for about maybe I need to cry for 30 minutes. And I'd be like, okay, I'm done. I decided that I could move through the feelings because it's important. I think this is also true too. It's important to feel the feelings. Don't try to dismiss them. Don't try to push them down. That was like seriously what my issue was. I want to bury those feelings. And I did a pretty good job of burying them for about 6 months before they exploded into almost absolute carnage in my life, right? But there was still that instinct when I would feel really sad to bury it, right? When I say happiness is a choice, I'm not talking about bury the sadness. There's a reason for that sadness. There's a reason for every emotion you have. And they need to, instead of trying to disown them, own them, claim them, let them come through, so that they can be incorporated. So they make you stronger. They don't become weak. They don't become your weak link in your Ewiness. Because it took me many, many times to learn this, but by shoving down, especially sadness, especially the anger, right? They would pop up when it was the most inappropriate time, the most inappropriate time, and be absolutely uncontrollable, right? Because I had never paid attention the first damn place, right? So pay attention, own it, integrate it, and I would say nurture it. Not meaning nurture it for it to grow, but nurture it so it can heal. And then always come back to happiness is a choice I make. All right, that was a small rant for you. Congratulations. We got to start off with a rant. Let's get over here with the fairies because that's feeling really good for me right now. Deck choosers number 4. And I know we're going to pull an archetype card or 2 or 5. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a surprise. We'll find out. But right now, I feel like we need some fairies. So let's see what we got here. What do we have here, deck choosers? Number 4. What are the fairies here to tell us today? They always say such nice things. Follow your dreams and miracle healing. All right, so this is interesting. Have you ever looked at lucid dreaming? There's a lot what you can find out in your dreams. So, and where you can start healing yourself in your dreams. Or through the steps you learn to take in your dreams, because your subconscious knows what to do. Subconscious always knows what to do. That's your higher self. And so sometimes a ready way to access that is through lucid dreaming. So I would, if I were you, I would check that out. And it doesn't matter if the healing is physical or emotional. Doesn't matter. Use it, you can use these steps. But I have a feeling it might be emotional. So this is definitely a way to go to really start to examining the things that need to heal on several different levels for you. And you could start to access what those are, because a lot of those things we have blocked out, right? You'd start accessing those through lucid dreaming. That would be a big thing I would encourage you to do. All right. Let's look at this for deck choosers number 4. Archetype card for them. This is something I'm thinking of it like a guiding principle. Who would you June with? June to me, as I was feeling into the energy of June overall, is about foundations. Rebuilding foundations, shoring up foundations. Because May was more or less like getting reoriented, getting things back into balance. I'm not saying they were perfectly in balance. That's not the truth, but there was balance. There was footing, right? The rug wasn't completely yanked out from under you anymore. Footing was there. That's probably the better way to say that. There was footing. And you could move forward with that. Whereas June is all about getting foundations back. Okay, well, obviously I tried to get one. It's giving me two, so let's see what these are. We've got Samaritan. Light attribute refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Interesting. Shadow attribute, exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. Yeah. Just do the thing. Don't expect a reward. All right. Father. Light attributes. Talent for creating, supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. I'm going to say this in a second. Okay. Shadow attribute. Dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Anyone, gendered male or female, can exhibit feminine and masculine energy. Both energies are in everyone. So I wanted to point that because I think sometimes people forget. So when we talk about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, people think, oh, we're talking about someone who is, identifies as male or identifies as female. No, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, are in everyone. And sometimes they are seen as being in balance, like yin yang. I really see it as an integration. Because when they are finally integrated and in harmony, which does not necessarily mean imbalance, that's when the good things happen. All right, so we've got Samaritan, which is really about helping people we wouldn't necessarily help. And with so much divisiveness going on around the world at this point, within, many societies, some having to do with the pandemic, some there well before the pandemic. Helping those we wouldn't consider helping before, helping those people that can be termed, maybe in our peer group, or the people we hang with, as other, right? That's what it's talking about with Samaritan. Going out and helping people that you feel are other. That'll be, it's like building those bridges that I think honestly desperately need to be rebuilt at this point. So what else is going on here? Deck Choosers number 4. Your reading is like, in some ways, it's like super serious. But let's see what's going on. And even that father energy, when you think along with that Samaritan helping people you wouldn't normally help, in a tribal unit, the father is going to make sure everyone, that masculine energy, that everyone is tended to. Doesn't matter if they're the most likable human being or not. This isn't about likableness. This isn't about being beloved. It's about compassion and truly being there for others. Okay? All right, deck choosers number 4. Let's see what we have here. Seven of Cups, the Sun reversed, and the Chariot reversed. Interesting, interesting. All right, so we have the Seven of Cups. So there's just, I look at the Seven of Cups. I always look at the Ace as like wish fulfillment. And the 7 is kind of around like, it's like so many choices. What do I do? And you kind of been told by Samaritan what the choices are, right? Like what to do. But you can get, know that everything's there for you regardless. So even if you help someone else out and you think, well, that means less for me or less for the people I want, the universe has infinite resources. No, everything is still there for everyone who needs it, right? Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. I think that's the big message with this. The Seven of Cups here is don't get distracted. We've got the Sun and we've got the Chariot both reversed. The Sun being like some Leo energy in there. The Chariot being like Cancer energy. So if you know Leo or Cancer, keep that in mind. Sun, Moon, or Rising, especially if that's you. It's gonna take, wow, now I know why you got happiness as a choice. That's a mantra. You might take a few hits from the peer group, from the folks you hang around by being the Samaritan. It's gonna feel a little bit like the sun is setting on you. Now I know why you got happiness as a choice. You've got to see beyond that. Sometimes it takes being hated. It takes being disliked because what you're doing is for the greater good. Right? Same thing with the Chariot. It's interesting because Cancer is also kind of like the mother of the zodiac, that mother energy. We have this over here with the father, but it's reversed. It is really interesting. Remember, I think earlier I talked about masculine and feminine energies and about integration. This might take a bit more of the masculine, a bit more of, I'm so much for no hustle, and I'm seeing a bit of hustle here. Of course you have the choice not to, because you have a choice in everything that you do. However, to rein in these kind of opposing factions, it is efforting. It's definitely efforting, and it's not quite being the bully, but it's having that firm grip of the masculine, saying these are the boundaries, these are the rules, everyone's going to respect it, right? There's that little hint to the mom, that little hint of the Cancer, that nurturing and that knowing, that intuitive knowing that comes at mothers. They call it mother's intuition. They're just knowing. There is that kind of backbeat. So you'll know exactly what needs to be said, but it needs to be firm. It needs to be very assertive. With the, gosh, what is the word? And there's consequences. There's consequences for the people who won't be wrangled in. There we go. That's a good word for that. All right, let's see. This is, like I said, y'all's reading seems so serious. Let's see if we can get some fire love here. Let's see what we can do for you, deck choosers number 4. Y'all's reading is serious. Serious. Let's see what else we've got going on for you guys. Can't be distractive. We've got to do the healings. We're going to do some lucid dreaming in here so you can get some direction. You got to wrangle people in. Deal with the people who are kind of in this polarity. Wow. Got a lot going in. Happiness is a choice, people. Happiness is a choice. Right? It's a choice that you make. Interesting. All right, so we've got a few cards here. We've got a hidden gift. I'm saying interesting because it came up in another reading. It is card number 9 for those of you into numerology. Sadness, an ending, a new beginning. We got card 41, amethyst, transformation, certainty, and confidence. And card 39, perception, beyond the veil of illusion. And this kind of goes with that whole thing. I love perception here. Like I'm seeing the two. I don't know if you see the redness around her. The redness here kind of beyond that veil of illusion piece. Guys, like I said, you're the bridge builder. That's the hidden gift. You might be hated, but that's the sadness, the ending of the feuding, of the false feuding. Think you're feuding over something and you can see beyond the veil. You can see beyond the illusion that the the pitting against each other isn't even real, right? And you're starting out that new beginning. And there is transformation. You have to be certain, right? You have to be confident as you move forward. So the sun starts rising on you again. They start seeing you a little differently, which is probably really moving into this father piece where you're wrangling them together, right? So this is a really, I mean, interesting, deep reading, deck choosers number 4. Woo! Let's see if we can lighten up with some unicorn energy up in here. I feel like that, and I feel like we're going to have to choose a few more tarot cards too. But if you're loving this so far, even though it's deep, it's heavy, give it a thumbs up. It really helps get the video seen in the YouTube algorithm. If you go ahead and give it a thumbs up, others can see it too. Maybe they'll choose your deep deck. Deck chooser number 4. See if we can get it to lighten up. We might not get it to lighten up. Happiness is a choice that you make. Let go of stress and change. I laugh because it's so perfect. All right, so let go of stress. Don't take on other people's stress. Breathe it out now. Like them not liking you, who gives a fat rat, right? Let go of that malarkey. Move forward with the thing that you know to do, which is to create this change, right? The changes that you're going through are positive. This is about creating that change. So let's look at, I think you're going to get most of the steps of what you need to do from your dreams, right? And I thought the miracle healing was going to be within yourself. It probably will be. You've got to start with yourself first. And get to a level of healing before you take all this on. And this all could be internal. By the feeling it might not be. So, you'll probably get most of your next steps through your dream, but you've got to start with that lucid dreaming to heal yourself internally. So you can help with others to make this change externally. Okay? And if this does, because this is a general reading, if this does tend to be internal for you, I really do want you to take a look at the position of the sun in your chart, Leo in your chart, Cancer in your chart, and Capricorn in your chart, which will be opposite of wherever Cancer is, FYI. Okay? And look into those positions as you move through June. Okay? Let's see what else we've got coming up here for you guys. Deck choosers number 4. Got a little bit more for y'all. We've got the Tower. Change. We've got the Star reverse. We've got the Ten of Wands. We've got the Four of Swords. Okay. This is just telling us our own story, right? We're going to be making some changes, but this also lets you go ahead and take a look at where Mars is in your chart and where Aquarius lays out, which will be opposite of where Leo is. So we've got change happening. It's not going to be very harmonious at first, but with the passion, you lead, right? You're leading with that Leo energy. So that's leaning hard into the Leo. You might end up leaning hard into your Mars as well, but it's leaning hard into that Leo to lead these folks. And there's going to be changing of minds, right? Changing of hearts and minds. It's upsetting their foundations. The information or the way you're sharing, whatever it takes, it's dismantling the thoughts, the beliefs that they have that run counter to seeing what you've already seen. You saw beyond the veil. When you're dismantling their beliefs, they'll be able to see beyond the veil too. So this is a very intense reading, deck choosers number 4. I am very, very curious as to what all is coming up for you right now. If you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Because I think you're going to need a little bit more continued guidance. All right. So with that, I say peace, joy, love to you.